The Drake Buccaneer is a fun, dedicated light fighter with a ton of firepower. And I mean a ton. It's basically the highest DPS light or medium fighter for solo players. It's tied only with the Anvil Hornets, and on paper it's more agile than them. So that begs the question, why isn't everybody flying around in Buccaneers? Let's get into it. This first VHRT mission that we're going to be going against is against a Vanguard Warden. Now we know that they're pretty much the easiest VHRT target that you're going to go against, but this is just a way to kind of test and prove out the DPS here. We're going to take down this Warden so fast, it's going to be bonkers. And because the Warden is so much less agile than us, it presents really no threat to us. There it goes. Next up, we've got the real viability test for VHRTs, which is the Anvil Hurricane. It's the hardest target that you're going to come across, and it's important to be able to take these out efficiently and quickly if you want to be able to chain these missions and make money pretty well. So now we can talk about the FID a little bit. We're using a full set of laser repeaters, and we've got the lag pip activated so that our targeting will actually show us where our shots are actually landing, as opposed to lead pip where it shows us where we want to aim the nose of our ship in order to make our shots land on the target. We're doing a little bit of jousting here with this target, so we're charging at it and it's charging at us and then we pass each other. That's not a good move for us because the Hurricane is going to be a lot more tanky than us, so in these exchanges they'll win the battle of attrition. So we're going to want to start adjusting our strategy and trying to strafe around it and try to basically keep it in our sights and not let it get behind us, which we do right here. And so now we're going to get a whole bunch of time on target where it's not really going to be able to fire back as cleanly, and hopefully we're going to get a lot of damage on him. We've got his shield down, but we still need to get through his hull. Fortunately, repeaters come back real fast with their ammo, and we've got our capacitor set to full weapons to maximize their DPS while our shields are holding. We'll move our capacitor to shields if we do need to end up recharging them, but right now we're doing fine. And by focusing on our piloting towards the end there, we kept it in our sights, kept the pressure up, and took it down. Next, we check our other targets that have spawned in, and we see it's a Valkyrie. This is a high DPS target that can definitely be dangerous if you're not careful, but it's not as difficult of a target to deal with. You can usually do a good job of keeping it where you want it and avoiding its fire. So it's just it's a much more relaxing, easier target than the Hurricane. So here we do a few corkscrews to try and evade some of that incoming fire. We see our shields are holding because of that. And then we're going to hopefully start trying to rotate around it a little bit. It didn't even matter. We've been keeping pressure on it for long enough that we just took it out. That's one of the nicer things about having a really high DPS ship. We target the last Valkyrie. We do the same kind of thing. We do a little bit of corkscrewing as we close the distance. I was not doing a fantastic job there. Usually you want a little bit more up or down strafe while you're doing those corkscrews. There I was going a little bit too straight in, but it was fortunate that they weren't really able to get a clean shot at us, so our shields held. Now we're on its flanks and we just have a whole bunch of time on target, so we take it out without any trouble. For this last bit of combat, we're going to fight against another one of these Hurricanes. That's because it's by a large margin the most challenging target you're going to get, and I think it's a little bit important to highlight some of the combat strategies you can use against it to be more effective. So you see right there we've had two jousting passes, the initial one and a secondary one. I need to fly a little bit better, so here I'm going to try and do my best to rotate at it as it's passing and thrust upwards with my strafe direction to try and track it. I didn't do a well enough job there, but I'll try again right here. So as it's closing and it's trying to pass me, my speed is not even at my max SCM speed. I rotate and I thrust up, and there you can see I can keep my nose pointed at the Hurricane. And now he's positioned in front of my nose, and I've got clean shots on him. I'm going to keep trying to rotate and strafe up to keep him in front of me. I'm going to do what I can to try and stay away from his front cannons. I can't really avoid his top turret too well because it's got a really great firing angle. So I am going to start taking a little bit of damage, but I'm going to focus primarily on keeping him in front of me and trying to control the distance so that he doesn't get so close that he can try and just get straight behind me. 700 to 1000 is about where I want to be, and I'm going to do my best to stay within that range and I get him. Let's talk about the fit that I used in 3.14 and recommend in 3.15. I'll link the 314 fit in the description. It's a full repeater fit with stealth components, but in 315 stealth components aren't effective anymore, so let's talk more about that. Now you just want to use whatever power plant can actually provide the power that you need for your ship. If your ship comes with a default power plant that's good enough, you just keep that, which is what we've done here with this JS series. Since all ships have large EM signatures, even stealth ships, you're going to want to change your missiles to use EM missiles. I prefer using the most small missiles as I can, so I have the 341 racks on, but you could use whatever you prefer. Shields in 315 are also going to be better by grade, so you just want grade A shields, and the civilian ones are the cheapest, so that's what I have on here. Your weapons don't change from 314 to 315. All repeaters are still the same, so we just went with the CF series because they're the cheapest. And lastly, you just always want that Atlas Quantum drive so you can zip around the verse in one tank. So let's get back to the original question. Why isn't everybody flying around in Buccaneers? In my opinion, the biggest reason is because it's fragile. It's not that hard to lose an engine or become torque imbalanced, because if you haven't noticed, your engines are like half your ship. And when that happens, it becomes a pain to fly even in space, and it happens somewhat frequently. Secondly, the Buck cockpit has this weird windscreen blur effect, which is cool in the beginning, but as you keep on fighting in it, it becomes a real pain during combat. Third, it's only got 2 visible multifunctional displays. Compare that to the Hornet series of ships, which gives you clear sight of 4 MFDs and almost the same external visibility. Lastly, it has no versatility. If you're willing to drop only 10% of your DPS, you can get a Reliant series ship instead, which costs around half as much and comes with a co-pilot seat, and some cargo for box delivery missions. But I'm being overly negative here. This is still a good ship. It's just absolutely fun to fly. There's a joy in being able to buzz around like an annoying little fly blasting bigger ships. But if you're looking for a ship just to efficiently make money via bounty hunting, I'd recommend getting a Reliant Core or an Anvil Hornet Ghost instead. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Cheers.